let us remember these timeless words.
If war were a necessity, we should lead the way toward permanent peace. They are not elected presidents to settle their controversies in some other way. But the other side of the picture,
the men who represent that sinister alliance between crooked politics and crooked business, which has done more than anything else for the corruption of American life, are united as one man against the genuine rule of the people themselves.
That perhaps could not have been met in any other way than by the sword. I'm willing to admit that war develops certain heroic traits in men and furnishes a test for the evidence of the highest character.
We believe that all men have a right to equal justice under law and equal opportunity to share in the common good.
Justifies the prayer of every man, of every civilized man, that war should be abolished, and that the suffering, cruelty, corruption, and demoralization that follow in its train should be, as far as we can bring it about, lifted as a burden from the human race.
Is this experience of a democracy?
The events of the year just ended have been a chain reaction of a new era in the world's affairs. The thumb of a dictator
will come of age in the 21st century.
And the lowest peacetime unemployment since
terrorists change our way of life. This country is taking an assessment right now. They didn't understand us. As I say, they're probably watching too much daytime TV.
The coordinate branches of the government built new structures on enduring lines
to forge a better life for themselves and their families. In man's long upward march from savagery and slavery,
which successfully survived crisis at home.
Yet all of it lacks the soul of nationality. Let us hesitate before we surrender the nationality which is the very soul of highest Americanism. This republic has never failed humanity nor endangered civilization.
Put away many evil things.
There have been many deep, terrifying valleys, but also many bright and towering peaks.
As a matter of fact, what the terrorists have done has caused us to take an assessment of what's important. And one of the things out of my job is to capture this new spirit.
And through it all, maintained.
I have been concerned for too long about a culture that says if it feels good, just go ahead and do it.
What kind of society, what kind of world are we building for them?
I want the people of America to be able to work less for the government and more for themselves. The expenses of the government reach everybody. When we come to realize that the yearly expenses of the governments of this country represents all the pay of these wage earners, such a sum is difficult to comprehend. These are some of the reasons why I want to cut down public expense.
Each of us are responsible for the decisions we make in life.
But the proposal to alter the whole foundations of our national life, which have been builded through generations of testing and struggle and of principle upon which we have made this nation, it is a contest between two philosophies of government.
To halt this offensive buildup, a strict quarantine on all offensive military equipment is being initiated. Should these offensive military preparations continue, thus increasing the threat to the hemisphere, further action will be justified. I have directed the armed forces to prepare for any eventualities. Third, it shall be the policy of this nation to regard...
For our own country, it has been a time of recurring trial. We have grown in power and in responsibility. We are called as a people to give testimony in the sight of the world to our faith that the future shall belong to the free.
Where they may enjoy the advantages of wealth, not concentrated in the hands of a few, but diffused through opportunity to all. Where they may build and safeguard their homes, give to their children the full opportunities of American life. where every man shall be respected in the faith that his conscience and his heart direct him to follow.
We must not ignore our problems, but neither should we ignore our strengths. Good common sense and sound judgment. But if the nation's problems are continuing, so are this great nation's assets. Our economy, the democratic system, our sense of exploration.
The liberation of all mankind. Representative, popular government.
Long before our forefathers came to these shores, men and women had been struggling on this planet to produce abundance and to share the good life fairly and with freedom. One union stands out.
Highest human freedom.
Nor was the country ever more susceptible to unselfish appeal or to the high arguments of sincere justice.
I believe that this nation is strong enough and focused enough and dedicated enough to usher in a culture that says,
will we ourselves be at peace? Will our children enjoy a better quality of life? Will a strong and united America still be a force for freedom and prosperity around the world?
Most vital to our present and to our future, continue freely to function. The Bill of Rights remains inviolate. The freedom of elections,
so long as the Republic survives,
is fully maintained.
Tonight, there is every sign that the state of our Union is sound.
this is a strong nation. This is a compassionate nation. This is a decent nation. And this is a nation that will not let of what's important. The evil ones thought that we were weak.
I shall ask not simply for more new programs in the old framework. I shall ask to change the framework of government itself, to reform the entire structure of American government so we can make it again fully responsive to the needs and the wishes of the American people.
The promise of justice and opportunity for every citizen.
We can close the gap between promise and performance in American government. We can bring together the resources of this nation and the spirit of the American people.
Prophets of the downfall of American democracy have seen their dire predictions come to naught.
Let it be said by our children's children that when we were tested, we refused to let this journey end. That we did not turn back, nor did we falter. And with eyes fixed on the horizon and God's grace upon us, we carried forth that great gift of freedom and delivered it safely to future generations.
Who harbor the simple wish of a safe and financially secure future for their children.
Tonight I shall present to the Congress 6 great goals.
Make it again the servant of the people. Seldom have the stakes been higher for America. What we do and say here will make all the difference.
The supreme need of our time is for men to learn to live together in peace and harmony. The peoples of the earth face the future with grave uncertainty, composed almost equally of great hopes and great fears.
These are the unmistakable symptoms of an awakening.